Yeah, and it's fun doing two programs. You know, the first program we have, you know, 3 very different pieces on it. This Gagagaku, which is, you know, it's kind of exploring trance and other altered consciousness and kind of, again, a kind of contemporary sense of spirituality, not one that is organized by religion, but that is kind of an inter journey, I guess. But I'm very interested in this kind of mysticism, this trance, like this, as I say, this drug-induced, whatever it is, this other kind of consciousness, which it's exploring.
Now the other two pieces,
yes,
you know, it was so great. Now I love the way, going back to the first piece, you cut the space.
Yes, this tiny pressure cooker.
It was almost like a tableau. It almost became. I was looking at something like a small piece of Japanese art or something that fit right on your wall.
Yes.
It was more linear than it was.
That's true. Yeah, I've never seen a stage kind of organized like this, and with the lights that are very low.
Everything. It
so
had
it's all
It really did.
Yeah, and with 15 people doing different things, contrapuntal things. So it's quite a weird piece, and then and then there's this crazy 1,000-arm dance, and this person who comes out who's like a hallucination. Anyway,
but that was wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It kind of just like, whoa, where are we going?
And his portable mist.
That's right, portable mist, exactly. And she's speaking Chinese, and she's saying in Chinese, "Break on through to the other side." Then the second piece, Ligeti Essays, was the extremely beautiful music of Georgi Ligeti, and it's a portrait of different states of consciousness. This guy, I mean, Ligeti just had such incredible insight into the human psyche, and it really is from the most languorous, beautiful daydream to sarcasm to anger to nonsense humor, sarcasm. I mean, it really just is a portrait of these different states of mind. And you kind of see characters who appear in one scene and they drift away, and you see other characters, and you see those characters you first saw come back, and like kind of evolution has occurred in their relationship, and you're seeing another phase. So it's a piece that I did a while ago, first in Europe, and it's sort of become a classic Armitage piece, and we tour it a lot, and the dancers love it. Anyway, it's a piece I'm very proud of. Then the last piece is actually 30 years old, shocking but true. I was like 25. I made this piece in 1981, and 4 electric guitars and drums, and it's called Drastic Classicism. It's sort of the jubilation of youth. It's like the rebellious jubilation of breaking out, taking the world over on your own, and yet it has all of the kind of the banality and the posing of kind of American consumer culture, but it's kind of mocking it, and yet, you know, it's intertwined with this other kind of like just gorgeous idea of how the new generation brings new ideas. Certain parts of it that really are improvisation, of course, with parameters being very, very clearly defined, but I love how it goes from kind of real order into almost mayhem in terms of this feeling. And so it's like this tug and push and pull of going back and forth between the most rigorous structured stuff and then this completely wild, debauched, almost rock and roll experience rather than a dance. It's almost more like an experience that you're sucked into. Yeah.
The way you even had them placed on the stage. Essentially, the band in the back, where they became secondary, they had their own stage space, and I was waiting to see would the dancers trespass.
Yes,
and they sometimes they didn't, but most of the time they didn't. It was
it's back and forth, and then there's one point where they actually use the guitarists as partners, and they do an adagio, like the guitarists turn, the dancers do a promenade with them, the dancers hold on to them, and that was all just like incredibly fun. I was 25, it's still fun today.
I felt East Village.
Yeah, it's very East Village, absolutely. Mud Club, Max's Kansas City. All those great places that we wish were still here. Yeah, the cheap rent that went along with it.
Yes. So but it also still has a freshness, and that's really a tribute to you and how you work. Because if it wasn't honest, it wouldn't be fresh.
Well, thank you. That's an incredible compliment, and I really appreciate that. I had never thought of that like that. It is. I mean, I think that's. I like that you said that, because I try to be absolutely scrupulously honest.